Om Swastiastu. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kadek Detiani from 5A class, and today I would like to answer or respond 10 questions that has been given by Mr. Harry last weeks. Okay, to minute the time, let me start to answer the question number 1. Question number 1. What is online learning? Explain also synchronous and asynchronous learning. Definition of online learning. According to Khan in 1997, defined online learning as the delivery of instruction to a remote audience using the web as an intermediary, and Carliner ed. in 1999 defined online learning as educational material that is presented via a computer. So, online learning is teaching and learning activities carried out online using platforms such as Schoology, Kahoot, and other platforms. So, the teaching and learning activities can be done anytime and anywhere. Online learning types based on time. There are two types. The first is synchronous. Synchronous learning means that things are happening at the same time, which is carried out in class between students and teachers, carried out at the place and live without any intermediary. And the second type is asynchronous, means that things are happening at different times. It is the opposite of synchronous teaching and learning activities that can be done in different places without having to meet face to face, such as, for example, online learning. One of the benefits of the asynchronous discussion is that students can reflect and think about their references rather than having to respond immediately as is typical in an outside class. Move to the question number 2. What are the basic features of an LMS, and please explain. There are 8 basic features of an LMS. The first is announcement. The announcement feature is the place where the teacher communicates important updates to the class. When the teacher posts an announcement, it will be waiting for students to read it whenever they enter the online course environment. And the second is syllabus. After reading the course announcement, students review the course syllabus. The syllabus feature is an important component of the course environment. The purpose of the syllabus is to familiarize students with course requirements. And the next is lessons. The lessons are the core instructional containers for students' course. Students may post a lesson for each unit of instruction. The lessons should lead the students through the course learning outcomes. Number 4 is discussion forums. The forum feature is an asynchronous communication tool that allows the exchange of ideas through the use of message board format. The structure of most discussion forums is based on the ability of participants to send message or reply to message posted by other participants, so they can communicate and express their ideas in the forum features. Number 5 is drop boxes or assignment upload. To submit assignments, the teacher may require the students to upload their documents to an online Dropbox or the assignment section of the LMS. A Dropbox is a digital space in which documents, presentations, links to websites, and more can be uploaded by the students and accessed by the teacher. And the next is gradebook. The teacher used the online gradebook to communicate grades and feedback to learners. The gradebook feature is a tool that display students' attendance, participants' readings, assignments, and projects grades. This feature enables the teacher and the students to review their student progress throughout the semester. And the next is course email. Teacher can use the course email feature to send important message to students so that students are easy to find out about announcements about the lesson. And the last is resources. In online course, digital course readings and references are organized in a section commonly referred to as resources. The resources features throughout all types of digital and online materials that the students are required to review, concluding readings, websites, games, image, sound recordings, and video. Okay, move to the next question. Number 3. As an online course, teacher give an example of a good introduction writing for one topic meeting and please explain. As an online learning teacher, it is important to give the short and clear instruction to students so it can make the student can understand what they will do in the next lesson. And I think this is the example of the good introduction writing in subject paragraph writing, because there is greeting. This is the greeting, dear students, and welcome to the paragraph writing class, blah blah blah, until this instruction is briefly describe the course, and this is also explain the material that will be discussed, so the students can be download the PowerPoint here and choose the free topic, and also it's already the due date for students to submit their works, and also there is already the email, the teacher email that the students can be contact if the students have problems in their work. And the last is already the closing and also the name that will teach the subject of paragraph writing. Question number 4. What online materials must be attractive? What elements are needed? Please give an example. Online material must be interesting because students will be more interested in reading and understanding about the material. So the students will be not feel bored or lazy to learn it. So they can get the motivate to learn about the material that we give for them. And there are 6 elements are needed on online materials as follows. The first is rationalist for good visual design. Good design is a lot like clear thinking made visual. Good visual design supports understanding through simplicity, clarity, and organization. An open, clear, attractive page design enhances communications. And the next is visual design online. When working online, we must keep in mind that the context presented in text is visual as well. This text is different than the text in a book because online text replaces speaking through a medium that is perceived of being visual. And the next is page layout. An online layout must be open, means that there is enough white space on the page to keep the mind clear, enough white space to allow the online students to feel that they are not overburdened by the task at hand. And this is the subheading of the page layout. The page layout, the first is page surrounding text, second is line length, third is justification, and the last is headings and subheadings. And the next is text. In element text, there are 6 subheadings. The first is typeface. In online learning, there are 2 types of typeface, namely serif and non-serif. However, in online learning, recommended to use serif type such as Giorgio and Times New Roman. And the second is type size. Type size should be large enough to be easily readable by all students. That should be used at least 12-point type for online. And number 3 is bold and italic used sparingly. Bold type can use very effectively for emphasis when used sparingly. Italic is generally used for titles of works and for instances when words are used in an unusual way. Italic type is more difficult to read in online because of resolution. Use is sparingly also. And the next is underlining only for hyperlinks. So this is the example of underlining that is used for hyperlinks. Next is avoid using all caps. All caps should only be used for acronyms. They are not as readable as lowercase letters because they are more uniform in size. And this is the example of using all caps. And the next is color used with care. There are many ways that color can be used to clarify, enhance, and engage. However, always keep focus on colors forward to distract. And this is the background and also foreground when we use color. When we use, for example, when we use green for the background, we must use another color in foreground. For example, we can use orange, yellow, and blue. So don't use the color that make our students cannot read our material. And the next is graphic elements. There are 3 subheadings. The first is symbols and icons. The second is bullets and numbers in a series. The third is visual design basic in the online class. Symbol and icons. Symbol and icons can be very useful in signaling small elements in a website that appear over and over again. And this is the example of symbol and icons that we can use in online learning. And the second is bullets and numbers in series. Numbers are used to identify sequence steps in a task or process. And this is the example of numbers that we can use. And the next is bullets are used to highlight a series of items that are not prioritized or sequenced. And this is the example of bullets that you can use in online learning. And the last is visual design basic in the online class. How do you bring these basic visual design ideas to online classes? The truth is, sometimes it may be difficult. We can follow most of the standards we set for type, justification, title, bullet, and number quite easily. Below is a sample toolbar for discussion forum. And the last element is resources. And this is the example of resources that we can use in online learning. This is the title of the book, and this is the writer, and this is the website. Move to the question number 5. Please explain types of online learning activities and provide relevant technological tools for the types. There are 6 types of online learning activities. The first is class discussion. Class discussion is an asynchronous environment are set up as written conversations between two class members to the entire class. In the class discussion, students can share and exchange their opinions, and the tools that we can use are discussion forums and Schoology. Number 2 is journal writing. It's an activity that allows students to reflect on the steps they take to understand the knowledge or develop a new skill. And the tools that we can use is blog. And number 3 is share knowledge base. In this activity, students collaborate with one another to build community in online classes that enable students to create products or develop their critical thinking skills. The tool that we can use is Wiki. Number 4 is practice exercises. In practice exercises, teachers usually provide testing or quiz. The benefit of using a testing tool is instant feedback that can be given to students. The tools that we can use is testing or quizzing. Next, the 5 types is projects. In this activity, students will work in group and students can communicate privately online with their group members and share basic word processors, presentation, and spreadsheet documents. And the tools that we can use such as group works, wikis, blogs, or discussion forums. And the last type is receptive activities. A teacher prepare audio or visual presentation and course readings. These are represented in course lesson as audio or video clips, PDF documents, and another presentation types of formats such as PowerPoint and Google Slideshows. The tools that can we use are PDFs, podcasts, YouTube, Google presentation, and etc. Question number 6. Online discussion is one important element in online learning. Sometimes it may not work well. How does a teacher optimize discussion? The way a teacher optimizes discussion are the first are prepare well to use modern information, communication, and learning tools. If the teacher is prepare a good and well information to the students will be more motivated and more interesting to learn that. And the second way is provide a more varied discussion topic. Number 3 is building a class community, and the last is provides a question and answer discussion forums. Provides a question and answer discussion forum. It is very important. Why? Because if we provide question and answer discussion, the students will be participate in discussion forum, and the students will be free to ask question and also give their opinion in discussion forum. Next to the question number 7, please provide an example of a learning resource that can be used to aid learners in online learning. There are 7 learning resources. The first is text-based supplemental resources. The second, image resources. The third, audio and video recordings. The fourth is voices and perspective. The fifth is expert voice. The sixth is experiences from the field. And the last is free web-based tools and resources. And I will be explain one of them, which is image resources that the teacher can provide the photos, screenshot, chart, graphs, illustration. So to make the students more interesting to learn about the material, we can provide the photo, screenshot, or illustration. Next is question number 8. Kindly give an example of effective assessment in English online teaching and learning. You can pick one or the integration of more than one language skill. The example I use is scoring rubric. An example of effective assessment in English online teaching and learning, especially in speaking skill. The example of scoring rubric, you can see here, there is 3 columns. The first is number, second is rated aspect, and the last is explanation. In rated aspect, there are 4 aspects. The first is pronunciation, second intonation, the third is fluency, and the last is accuracy. And how to assess speaking skill? You can see here, to assess the speaking skill, there are 4 columns. The first is number, the second student's name, the third is score obtained, which is already aspect 1, aspect 2, aspect 3, and aspect 4. And the last is number of scores obtained. In student's name, you can write your student's name here and give the score according to the rated aspect above, and to calculating, you can use this formula, which is the number of score obtained by students divided by maximum or ideal score times to 100. Okay, this is the example of effective assessment in English online teaching, which is example scoring rubric in speaking skill. Next to the question number 9. What are the basic elements to consider when building an online course? There are 4 basic elements. The first is learning outcomes. Learning outcomes are the core of a learning process that creates courses and programs that follow through on their promises. Each subject expects results or progress achieved by students, but in online learning. As such, there are learning outcomes expressed at every stage in the process. And the second basic element is the online syllabus. An online syllabus contains many of the same elements as the syllabus in place. Basic categories include course title, course name, course description, course objectives, evaluation plan, assessment, required readings, suggested readings, and course outline. The syllabus contains a very detailed course outline and a true explanation of how this online course is organized and will operate. And there are 5 characteristics of an online syllabus. The first is a communication strategy. Second, a clear description of the course time frame and format. The third is guidelines for online class participation. The fourth is technical requirements and support. And the last is a detailed course outline with start and end dates. And the third basic element is the course outline. The online course outline is a calendar and a to-do list and presents a sequence of events, assignments, readings, activities, and course deliverables. And the last is from course outline to lesson. After preparing an outline, the next step is for students to take online lessons based on the previous outline that has been already prepared. So, after the students prepare the course outline, we as a teacher can make an lesson for our students. And next to the last question, please give an example of an online lesson in your class for one meeting. You can see here, this is the picture that I took in e-learning course, which is drama course. Why I choose this course? Because the lecturer who teaches drama prepares a discussion forum to replace one meeting in e-learning, and all students participate in the discussion activities because the lecturer give a question like this. You can see here, please start a discussion. At the last time, please write what you think about the play. You can talk about the story or plot, the characters, or other aspect of drama. Please be active in replying the posting made by your friends. Remember, I can see. So, all students can be participate and put their own opinions in the forum discussion. Okay, thank you so much for your attention, and I'm sorry if I do mistake during this video, and see you. Bye bye.